We have the wonderful fortune of having Hope Zvara of Mother Trucker Yoga. She's the CEO. And Hope, it is wonderful to speak with you this morning. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in on this early Tuesday morning.
Absolutely. It is so great to be here as a guest fill-in for Tim. And I get the chance to talk to you. And we're going to talk about people's health, drivers' health, and in specifics, foot health. With type 2 diabetes running rampant in the country, neuropathy is becoming a bigger and more serious problem than ever. And it's important to pay attention to the signals that your body gives off when you start to have issues with your feet. That can be anything from tingling to swelling. Sitting all day doesn't help that fact. And it's something to be made aware of. And that's the main topic we're going to be talking with Hope about today. But also, if you have a question or a thought, we'd love to hear from you. 615-292-6366. But first things first, Hope was at Matt's here just weeks ago, and you were the recipient of a wonderful award. You want to tell us about that first?
Yeah. So House Products every year does a Hall of Fame. And this year I was inducted into the Hall of Fame as an Industry Leader of the Year for 2025. And it was a really great honor. They did an amazing job. And if you were at Mid-America Truck Show and we're over in the East Hall, they have a really gigantic wall that they put the Hall of Fame up on, and have a video playing, and I got a cool trophy, and we did a bunch of interviews, and it was just really great to be honored. They've done this now a dozen times, so I'm the 12th, the daily dozen, the dirty dozen. I guess you can pick what you want to call it. But it's really great because when it comes to health and driver wellness, driver fitness, it's definitely a challenging part of the industry for a number of reasons. And so it's really great to be acknowledged for the work that I've done over the last almost 8 years now. And the hard work that, I've been putting in for drivers, and many of you listening, we've been together now for quite some time on the Tim Ridley Show, talking health. So it was just a really great honor.
Well, and that kind of recognition doesn't just get passed out, it's quite an accomplishment, and it's something you should be proud of.
I am. And so it was a great honor, and it was, as always, Mid-America Truck Show. It always goes off with a bang. It's a great kickoff, I always think, to the year. Like, the year really doesn't start till Mid-America Truck Show. And so now the year has officially begun. And and today we're talking about foot health. I've gotten a lot of DMs and a lot of conversations around foot care as of recent, and I thought this would be a great topic. I think many moons ago, Tim and I may have talked about this in some capacity, but it is a topic that I think a lot of people overlook. We put on shoes every day and just kind of go on our way, and we don't really think about our feet, but our feet really are the foundation of our body in various capacities. And foot pain can really tell us a lot about what's going on in our body overall if we really just clue into some of the signs and symptoms that we might be having. You talked about a few of them, things like neuropathy, which is really like reduced sensation in the feet. You start to lose that sensation in the foot, which isn't good because then you get things like drop foot, or you start to have things like diabetic reaction, which is really bad. And so those are some of more of the extreme things. But for a lot of people listening, we are not giving our feet the justice that they need. And what I mean by that is from the moment that you wake up to the moment that you go to bed, you're putting casts on your feet. Like, how you break your arm, you put a cast on, and those casts are shoes. Our feet are not designed to be in shoes all day. And that kind of gating to the foot can cause a lot of physical health issues to our body that we might be not connecting the dots to.
And I think it's important, too, to get a decent pair of shoes, a good pair of that support and comfort your foot and cushion your foot. How many Do you see people wearing those slides or Crocs? Those, they may be
Yes.
cushy and comfy, but they're not giving much support to the foot, are they?
Absolutely. Well, it's maybe not something we often think about, but when it comes to shoes, there's a lot of marketing science around the shoe and foot industry in general. And what I mean by marketing science is it's not actual science. It's just really great marketing that sounds like science. And one of the biggest culprits of this is memory foam. Walking on an overly padded shoe, although it might feel good for the aches and pains, actually has a lot of negative effects on the body because the foot is one of the most complex parts of the body, and it's meant to move. There's so many tiny little intrinsic muscles in between the bones and the joints in the foot that when you're not using those muscles start to atrophy. And that can affect things like balance. That can affect things like hip health, knees. So you have knee problems. What if it's really a foot problem? And so masking the foot or casting the foot can actually have a lot of negative effects to the body. And so really looking at the type of shoe you're wearing, from how much padding does it have in to how much pitch. Having an excessive heel in your shoe pitches the body forward, which causes tight hip flexors. So for drivers, this is a lot worse because you're sitting all the time. So those hip flexors are already really tight and short because of the position your body is in. So now we're kind of adding fuel to the fire. So really looking for shoes, even running shoes, walking shoes, tennis shoes, have a heel. It's not just dress shoes and ladies' shoes. And so looking for a minimal heel or, minimal amount of padding in the shoe so your foot can do more of the work. The catch here is if you've been wearing overly padded shoes or you've been wearing really thick-soled shoes for a long time, going to the extreme, which a lot of us like to do, that's kind of in our nature. Well, I see now I should eat oranges, so I'm going to eat 20 oranges a day because someone said they were good for me. Well, that's not that great for you either, is to start small. And so the cool thing is when you shop for shoes now, a lot of the places now will show you, or even on the boxes, it'll say the degree of sole. So it'll say neutral, +1, -1. So it becomes easier for you now to shop for shoes, especially if you're trying to progress into something where your foot can do more of the work for you.
That's cool. I did not even know that the boxes were marked like that. And are arch supports important as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so for those of you listening, the best way to tell, let me back up though. So first, when we're born, nobody is born with flat feet. So I just want to put that out there. You don't come out of the womb and the doctor says, oh, a beautiful baby boy, but he has flat feet. Nobody has that happen. And so we're really an adaptation to our environment over time. And so what that means is we simply become the environment that we put ourselves in over time repeatedly. And so our feet are no different. And so for a lot of us, because we're not utilizing the muscles in our feet become lazy and we get that kind of fallen arch. And so arch supports can temporarily give us relief because it's putting the foot back into the position that it's supposed to be in. But again, you got to ask yourself, if you break your arm, would you wear a cast for the rest of your life? No, that would be crazy. There was no surgeon on the planet that would do that to you, because it's going to atrophy. The muscles will get weak. And so really your feet are no different. So if you're wearing arch supports, they probably are giving you relief, and that's great. Maybe knee pain relief or sciatica relief, or even just your feet are fatiguing relief. But my suggestion outside of that is consider doing some barefoot exercises, even just a few minutes every day. And this is great for everybody. And so get your shoes off and do things like stretching through the toes. So if you kick your shoe off and stretch through the bottom side of your toe, you might be surprised when you do that with all of your toes, like, whoa, this really hurts, or my toes don't like to do that. Yeah, because you're not doing that. Remember, your shoe is kind of casting off your foot from mobility. And you now roll over the tops of your toes. And it's like, ooh, that's really a little tight. That feels a little sore. Those are good things. Rolling your ankle every day. Taking maybe like a tennis ball. We have little balls that we sell with little nubbies on it, or a frozen water bottle, and rolling out the bottom of your foot to break up some of that fascia and those tight muscles. Those are all good things. And then The best part is and this is often the opposite that gets recommended, is walk around barefoot a little bit every day. So even if you're just in your truck, like walk around with your shoes off, walk in place for a few minutes with your feet barefoot. All of these things are great because if you don't use them, you're going to lose them. And I'm talking about the muscles, particularly in your feet. Do calf raises without your shoes on. And notice if when you do that, you can keep your ankles straight, or do they kind of roll out? How high can you go before your toes go, ooh, that's quite the stretch. These are all good things to practice daily, and they take 30 seconds, a minute. But you're really going to notice your feet and how much they like these activities or not. And this is not a sign of aging. This is not, I'm getting older, I can't do this. No, this is you haven't been using this body part. And it's no different than not using your shoulder for a long time. You're going to have to work into this. But I assure you with confidence, you start doing this, you're going to see such a huge difference in pain in your back, pain in your feet, your gait, which is how you walk. A lot of people knee pain. Your foot really is the foundation of your body, quite literally.
Fantastic information. We're talking foot health with Hope Zvara, CEO of Mother Trucker Yoga, and we've got more coming up in just a moment. We got to take a break, but we'll be back with Hope and hopefully give you some tips and things you can do to make yourself feel better. Rob Williams in for Tim on SiriusXM 146, the Road Dog channel. With the tunes here this morning on the Tim Ridley Show. Rob Williams in for Tim. Yeah. Tim's out all week. I am in for Tim. He'll be back on Monday. He's just taking some time off, doing a vacation thing with the motorhome and enjoying life, as everybody should have a great opportunity to do so. We're talking foot health with Hope Zvara of Mother Trucker Yoga. She's the CEO and knower of all yoga. And it's funny that we have you on today, Hope, because today's National Bunion Day. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but what a perfectly timed topic. I take that back. I planned this completely.
Of course you did. Are taxes giving you bunions?
Yeah, right. They might be giving us more than just bunions.
Oh, tell me about it. I read that the misconception about bunions is that they're caused by constrained footwear or standing for long periods of time. But the reality is that bunions are actually caused by hereditary defects or anatomical imbalances of the foot. And it's more than a simple bump. They're actually complex deformities that are caused by unstable joints in the middle of the foot.
Yeah, that's definitely a big piece of it. And for a lot of people with bunions, really focusing on proper foot alignment can help reduce that or kind of slow the growth of that, because a lot of people with bunions tend to have more of a collapsed arch where they're falling in to that bunion. And so really paying attention to your feet and even doing simple things like massaging the bunion can help with blood flow, doing simple things like, and this is a great little exercise for everybody. Next time you have your shoes and socks off and you're standing, can you lift only your big toe? So remember, there's a lot of muscles in the foot, and in between all of those bones, it's the most complex part of the body, most joints in one area. Can you just lift your big toe up off the ground? And if you're like, oh my gosh, my body won't do that, those muscles in there aren't working as refined as they should be. And so getting your shoes off, again, another good reason, walk outside barefoot, which is the exact opposite of what a podiatrist is going to tell you. They're going to say, oh, you have sensitive feet, keep your shoes on, don't walk barefoot. Oh, it's going to be horrible for you. No, that's the exact opposite of what you should be doing. You should get your shoes off in small doses. You should roll out your feet. You should utilize your feet fully and completely, especially people with plantar fasciitis. I did a lot of reflexology and foot therapy for people over the years when I had my studio. And I was working with little old 80-year-old ladies that, hadn't seen their feet in a decade and went from only wearing Crocs because that was the only thing they could get their foot in and feel comfortable to walking around on their hardwood floors barefoot, walking outside barefoot. It is a progression, but it is possible. Remember, This is a living part of your body. There are muscles down there. There is blood flow. There are nerve endings. And you cannot mask that and think that it will stay healthy. This is any part of your body you would not do that to. And so when it comes to even something simple as bunions, I have a lot of clients that will wear toe spacers at night when they go to bed to help alleviate some of that pain and just kind of help slow the process as much as possible with that bunion or hammer toe. And so, yeah, that definitely is a huge issue. And I did not know it was National Bunion Day. I'm going to have to celebrate this. I'm not sure how yet, but I'm going to celebrate this bad boy.
Celebrate your bunions. When I hear the word bunions, it makes me think of the punchline to a joke that I have. It takes too long to tell the joke, but it's freaking hilarious. But the punchline is, to all beef patties, special Ross, Lester, Chester, picking bunions on a Sesame Street bus. That's the punchline.
and please, people listening, do not share photos of your bunion on social media today, okay? Like, I know we share a lot of things on national holidays. This is not going to be one of them.
Not needed. Feet are not attractive.
They're definitely, we don't need to shock other people in any capacity. So I don't have a foot aversion. Feet really don't bother me that much. But that doesn't mean I don't want my feed full of feet today. So.
Yeah, and there are some nasty feet in the world too. So we don't need to see those either. And we don't want to smell them either.
Oh my gosh!
We're talking with Hope Zvara she's the CEO of Mother Trucker Yoga, and I've just kind of started to get involved in chair yoga myself, just to get some exercise, because I don't hardly go out at all. I work from home. My wife works from home, and we don't get the exercise we should. And I just took it on myself. It's time to start doing something about this. If you want to add a couple years to your life or even more, you got to do some self-love and take care of yourself and self-awareness. And especially with your feet, man, if you've got type 2 diabetes or type 1 diabetes, neuropathy can be something that's exceptionally serious. And I know people who have lost most or parts or all of their leg due to things that started as neuropathy in their feet.
Mm-hmm. Well, and as we kind of talked furthermore with the feet, that's just one piece of it. Knee problems, walking issues. Look at anybody in their 70s, 80s, 90s. They tend to shuffle. And so they're walking from the knees down. They're not even using their hips anymore. They're not even using their full leg to walk or move about. And so really paying attention to foot health is essential. And so everyone can do this today. So when you're able to, don't do this while you're driving, okay? Take your shoes off. And if you can fold your shoe in half with one hand, okay, like it's not like, oh my gosh, like I can fold this thing, Hope wanted me to, like not that kind of folding, okay? But if you can fold your shoe in half easily and twist it like a towel that's wet, it is a great shoe essentially for you to wear. And not say, great, I can't see it, I don't know all the other mechanics of it, but having a more pliable shoe, a more flexible shoe is going to aid in foot health. And if your shoe is super stiff and you can't fold it and it's like 5 inches thick, it might not be the best shoe for you. Now, some exceptions, obviously, you're not going to be able to fold a cowboy boot shoe. Cowboy boots, are super fun and they're versatile. They do have quite a big heel. There's not a lot of flexibility. So if you are a cowboy boot shoe wearing person, you want to combat that by getting your shoes off when you're at home. Roll out the bottoms of your feet before and after you wear them. My kids are avid cowboy boot wearing. My daughter works at a ranch, so she's got hers on all the time. And so she's got to combat that because her calves start getting tight. She starts getting kind of plantar fasciitis symptoms. And so she's got to roll out her feet and before she puts her boots on just to kind of break up some of that tissue so it's easier for her to wear them. And so same thing, steel-toed shoes. I know there's a lot of reasons sometimes for work why we have to wear certain footwear, but you want to combat that to help your body overall because things like stiff back, stiff neck, even headaches can be a symptom of low foot flexibility. Like look at how far up the body that's traveled to say, hey, something's wrong.
Nice. Listen to your body. That's the best piece of advice we can give you, and do something about it. Hope, is there a website you have, a way people can get in touch with you if they need to?
Oh, you bet. Anywhere on social media and online, Mother Trucker Yoga. You can just type that in, check out our website. We have tons of great informational blogs, free mini courses. We have a cool app. Again, Mother Trucker Yoga. And check out what we're up to and join the conversation, because without your health, what do you really have?
Amen, sister. That's awesome. And I will definitely be checking that out myself.
Excellent.
Well, thank you for spending time with us this morning, Hope. We really appreciate it.
You bet. And for those of you listening, remember today, get your shoes off. Move your feet around, even if it's just a little bit, even if it's a little uncomfortable. Every day you do this, it's going to get better. And you, my friend, are the one that benefits.
Amen. Hope Zvara, CEO of Mother Trucker Yoga. Check him out online. And it's been a great morning. We appreciate you spending time with us. Dave Nemo's up next, and I'll be back tomorrow. It's the Tim Ridley Show on SiriusXM 146, the Road Dog Truck